Hello everyone. Myself is Alok Vyas. I am a spinal cord injury patient. I got the spinal cord injury at the level of C4 to C6. I will explain about the various level in the coming slide and after my injury, I have learned a lot of about it. But before the injury, I was not knowing anything about the spinal cord injury, due to which many mistakes had happened in the handling of my body after spinal cord injury, because of which uh, the chances of my recovery has gone nil. So the idea came to my mind that similar to me, there are millions of people in the world who also don't have any idea about spinal cord injury, and it's my duty to share my knowledge with them, so that so that uh, if there is any and if they have the knowledge, then this injury can be avoided, and even if the injury happens, it can be handled properly. And with that objective, I have prepared this webinar, and I am here to present it to all of you. I hope you will like it. So let's start about it. Wake up, stop listening. Before I go to the next slide, I would like to tell you a few things, like I'm using my voice software for controlling the laptop, and in that, some commands like go to sleep, start listening, and other, those are part of the voice software. Those are not part of the, so don't get confused by this, please. Wake up, face down, stop listening, wake up, go to sleep. Okay, so in this session of spinal cord injury, I'm it's a very vast field, but I will try to cover as many topics as possible in in as as much as possible. So you can see I have written down so many different points, and we will learn about all these in the coming slide, like what is spinal cord injuries, what are the symptoms of it, what are the key facts, what are the different levels of spinal cord injury, what are different types of spinal cord injury, and how it happens, what's the reason it happens, and then the causes of spinal injury, how we can prevent the spinal cord injuries. All these we are going to discuss to make those people aware of spinal cord injury who are not much aware of it. And then on the right side, I have categorized it in a way that, let's say, even after all the precautions, unfortunately someone gets the spinal cord injury, then what happens and how to deal with the life which we get after the spinal cord injury. So in that I have covered the topics like what happens after the spinal cord injury, what kind of paralysis are there, and how people can help each other, how the latest technologies can help the disabled people, what all research and scientific developments are happening for for the cure of the spinal injury, or for helping the spinal cord injury in doing things which the normal people can do it easily, like for example of assistive technology, like let's say a person can't write because his wrist is not controlled, so the and they can be trained by putting a splint on their wrist. And there are many technology. One example of assistive technology is this one which I am using, that is the software I am using to control. So myself uh, is paralyzed neck down, and even then I am able to do many things with the help of technology. After that, I will be discussing about various kind of research and scientific developments which are going right now, which can be, some of them looks very promising and some of them are trying. So we never know. Everyone is very hopeful that someday we will be able to walk again and dance again. Then I will cover about the various resources, in the sense from where you can get important informations about it. I will show you some of the links where you can go and get more information about spinal cord injury and related topics. And then in the end, I will show you uh, some things like who are the examples of spinal cord injury and other injuries and are disabled, but they have done tremendous work irrespective of their disability, and they have proved that it's not the no one and nothing can stop us if we ourselves decide to do something for the for ourselves as well as for the society. So all these things I will try to cover today. And wake up, page down, stop listening. So let's start with the know-how of what is spinal cord injury. So before learning about the spinal cord injury, first I want you to tell about what is the spinal cord. Mariam, if you want, you can come near so you also can watch it. So before going to the spinal cord injury, I would like to tell you about what actually the spinal cord is, and then that will make you easy to understand about the injury. So the spinal cord is a collection of, you can say, threads, nerves, or you can say tendons, which are responsible for sending the messages from brain to the different parts of the body. And similarly, if something happens in the body, there are some same threads which takes the immediate message from that part of the body to the brain, so that brain can decide what we need to do. And it can have the sense of pain, heat, coldness, and other kind of things. So it's the spinal cord which is responsible for transmitting the signals from brain to the body and body to the brain. So as example, you can think of, like, let's say there is a hot pot somewhere, and you touch your finger on it. The moment you touch, the signal will go from your finger to the brain, and your brain will understand it is hot. Then the brain will send the signal back that quickly move away your finger and do something so that you won't get a blister or something, as per the previous experiences. So this gives a small idea of what is spinal cord. And uh, now coming to the spinal cord injury is that in what happens is, after the accident or so, this cord which resides inside the spine, I will show you the picture of like spine and spinal cord inside the spine. So just assume it like our spine is a hollow pipe, and inside that there are lots of wire which keeps spreading all over the body and do the task of sending messages from brain to that place and from that place to the body. Now, in spinal cord injury, what happens is uh, because of some reason or because of strong accident, this cord gets cut off, and because it gets cut off, it completely blocks the communication between the brain and the body. So wherever you get the injury, the signal, or you can call the communication between the brain and the body, which is lower than that place, will gets completely switched off, you can say, like so what happens, let's say for example, you get an injury in an accident, and your spinal cord gets destroyed around your around the middle of your upper body. So what happens is, after you get that injury, the whatever is above that injury, whatever body part is above that injury, that will work normally because that is able to communicate with the mind. But however, the part which is below the point of that injury, that does that completely gets disconnected from the brain, and it becomes like a paralyzed because it doesn't get any signal about what to do, how to do, and when to do from the brain. I hope this might have given you a clear idea of what is spinal cord and what is the injury. Okay, wake up, face down, stop listening. Now, coming to the key facts, these facts are taken from the internet, but I'm sure, like with they might be higher in terms of in the new age. So it's given that every year around the world, like between 250,000 to 500,000 people suffers a spinal cord injury, and most of the spinal cord injuries are due to preventable causes, like such as road traffic crashes and fall or violence. Uh, uh, when we talk about traffics and crashes, uh, you can visualize it that as the roads are getting improved, the motor vehicles are getting more power in there. The youth and the vehicle lovers, they when they are on the road, they don't care about what's going on. They break the rules and they drive fast and rashly, and most of the time these kind of actions from the people end up in the spinal cord injury because of the accident. So, as in the third point, it describes that spinal cord injury affects more men than the women, and the reason behind it, specifically uh, in most of the countries, it's the men who goes out and work and who use these adventurous things like driving the vehicles or doing many similar kind of things. So you can call them that they take the more risk compared to the women's, and because of that, it affects more to the man than the woman. And it's clearly visible from the analysis that most of the spinal cord injury happens between the to the people between the age of 16 and 30, and you all can just assume that was the reason, and that the reason is that during this period everyone is very enthusiastic, very excited about the life, and take lots of risk, and which can end up in the spinal cord injury. Coming to the death rate of the spinal cord injury patient, the mortality risk is highest in the first year. So once you got the spinal cord injury, any patient, um, if they can die within 1 year, uh, depending on the level of injury, the kind of injury, and on the place of injury, and uh, other problems which the patient has. But if he survives for the first year, then chances of his surviving becomes little bit higher. But even then, like if you compare to a normal person, between a normal person and a spinal cord injury person, the chances are still 2 is to 5, in which like the spinal cord person can die at any time because of so many complexities involved in his life, where compared to the normal person who can survive longer than the spinal cord. But there is no one more thing is there, that uh, they don't survive much in most of the country, because after the injury they require a lot of care, and which is not easy to be attained by a common man, because everything is expensive, and a lot of things are needed to keep him alive and to keep him survive. Okay, so specifically in the middle income companies, they don't survive because of many reasons. I will talk about more reason in the coming slides. Wake up, face down, stop listening. So press escape, stop listening. So coming to the symptoms of spinal cord injury, how do you know that person might have spinal cord injury once he met the accident? So what all symptoms you observe in the person, so that you can say that he might have got spinal cord injury? And the symptoms are that the loss of movement, as I told you, that the place where your spinal cord got uh, destroyed, from that point to the lower body, everything becomes paralyzed, so there won't be any movement in there. Similarly, the depending on the point where you incurred the injury, uh, person won't be able to sense any heat, cold, or any kind of sensation. And the spinal cord patient, after the injury, they lost the sensation of the bowel and bladder. Bowel means like, and bladder in the sense like they don't feel when they want to urinate, and even if they know when to want to urinate, they can't urinate on their own. And same is the case with the bowels. They require some other person's help throughout their life for taking care of the bowel and bladder. The other point is that they start reflex actions and spasms in their body. Reflex actions or spasm can be defined in a way that, yeah, the body which is below the point of the injury, they can have reflex actions, or they can start shivering or moving here and there without any reason. So those things are called spasms, and those things are uncontrollable. Like a patient doesn't want to move it or doesn't want to bring it here and there, but it happens automatically. Third, another one is that changes in the sexual function after the spinal cord injury. The person is uh, is capable of getting the babies and all, but it's not the same as the normal person because he can't feel, as I told you, no sensation, no movement, and because of that. He requires additional medicines or another gadgets to be able to have sex with the partner and be able to get a baby in their family. But yeah, it is possible with IVF also. They can have babies. So many. It's very much possible. That's what I can say. And other symptom is that they don't feel pain or intense. They feel like a lot of pain, and that pain can be a referred pain. And also sometimes they start feeling like stinging sensation. For example, in my case, many times I feel like thousands of ants are running on my hands and on my legs, and it's a weird sensation, and I don't know why it is coming for, and I feel like helpless in those kind of situation, but that's part of spinal cord injury, and you know what, like I should say that for a spinal cord person, even is their enemies are like, if you ask me who are your enemies, I will say that my eyelash is the biggest enemy of mine. It just comes out and uh, gets on my cheek or somewhere, and it's very irritating. I can't move it, and it's very frustrating. Now, coming to the last one, that is autonomic dysreflexia. This is very important thing, and every person, whether they have spinal cord injury or not, they should be aware of it so that they can take care. They can take care any spinal cord injury patients, or if they become spinal cord injured, then they should be aware of it. In this, what happens is, like anything, any problem happens below the level of the injury, then body tries to communicate back with the brain, and because of the disconnection of the spinal cord, it's not, the communication didn't happen easily. So what happens is, uh, there are motor functions and other thing. uh, because of something, the body tries to tell you in a different way that something is not comfortable. So, for example, if someone's bladder is full, let's say, the urine is not passing out and your bladder has become full. So, in that case, many spinal cord injured people get different symptoms. For example, in my case, if my bladder gets distended, I start feeling very severe headache. My blood pressure goes very high. It shoots within a fraction of second. It crosses 200. So it is very emergency situation, we call it. So in a small definition, autonomic dysreflexia is, you can define as a way of the paralyzed body to tell you that something is not right, whether it can be by increasing your blood pressure, or by making you sweat, or by making you sick, and many other things. Wake up, face down, stop listening. Now, as I told you that in the starting, myself is injured at C4 to C6 level. Here in this slide, I am going to I will try to explain you about what the level means. So our whole body, our whole spine actually is divided into four different sections. We call it cervical, thoracic, lumbar, and sacral levels. And depending on where, at what level you get injured, uh, your your disability will be defined according to that. Like let's say I am disabled from C4 to C6. So in the picture on the right side, you can see C4 is like below my neck. So below my neck, I don't have any sensation and movement throughout my body. If someone is paralyzed at T4, then you can see in the picture T4. So below that T4 level, everything get paralyzed, and the anything above that T4 will stay functioning like the normal person's body. So these are the different levels, explanation of different levels, and depending on the levels and capability of the spinal cord person, they have been categorized into two main groups, that is tetraplegic and paraplegic. The tetraplegic group is the one who are paralyzed and who don't have much capability of doing anything with their hands as well as legs, whereas paraplegic people are those who are paralyzed from the legs, but they can do their hands and other respiratory and other things are still okay. So these are the two different categories. If you can remember, if anyone tell you about tetraplegic, so then if you are aware of this, you will be able to understand that oh, he is paralyzed and his hands and legs both doesn't work. So this is the clear picture about the levels and how they are categorized. Wake up, face down, stop listening. Guys, wherever you find any question or things, please keep putting it in the chat section so that or keep noting down so that you can ask them in my Facebook page later, and I assure you I will try my best to elaborate them and explain them in a more better way. Now coming to this slide, in this we have already seen two categorization of a spinal patient, that is uh, tetraplegic and paraplegic. Other than that, it is further divided into two types of injury. One is the complete injury, and another one is the incomplete injury. In case of the complete injury, when the accident happens, the complete spinal cord, that means all the wires at that level, get disconnected from the upper body, and therefore nothing works, like all the legs. Let's say in my case, I am a complete injury patient, so none of the thing below my injury works for me. In case of incomplete injury, some of the function stays working. So because like let's say there are 1,000 wires inside the tube. Let's say only 500 got broken, then the leftover 500 are still working. In that kind of scenario, they call it incomplete injury, and in those cases, the patient is capable of doing something instead of nothing. So this is another categorization of spinal cord patient. Wake up, face down, stop listening. Now coming to this slide, I want to show you about how actually the spinal cord injury happens, and also in the picture I want to, as promised, I want to show you like uh, how, how the spine and the cord look like. So this is the example of a car accident. So let's say If in a car accident, what happens is the moment you met an accident, your head goes and bang into the glass, and you can see the whole force of the body goes and hit to the glass, because of which you get tear in your spine, and after that, depending on the force, it can destroy your cord. How much it destroyed depends on the amount of force which which you get during the accident. In the second picture, it is very clearly shown that the the spine, like in a layman language. I'm not going into the biological terms, but in layman language, you can see the spine, the bone part of it got broken, but the cord inside is still there, and it got compressed. Like, it's not broken. In this picture it shows that it got compressed. So in this case, the chances of recovery is there, whereas in my case, that the inner hollow pipe kind of looking thing got chopped off completely, so there is no chance of any communication between the body below this level. Okay, so this I have shown you the example of the flexion injury, in which the head is going and hitting in this direction. Wake up, face down, stop listening. The second way in which most of the people get injury is the vertical compression. In this, what happens is person falls headways from anywhere, like from horse, from a building, or from anywhere, and the whole body weight goes on the top of the head, and the head goes and hit to the ground, which causes the injury again, and it depends how much force is there. Depending on that, the first the bone breaks, and then uh, inside cords also gets disconnected or broken, you can say. In this picture, it's shown that how a person dived into the water, and it was a shallow water, which he didn't realize, and he dived and his head got hit at the bottom, and he got spinal injury. This is very important to understand, and this is really a warning for all the youngsters that when you are going into the pool, be very, very careful. Don't dive in the water until and unless you know how to dive properly. And best way is never dive in the shallow water, because even expert to expert can fail in there. Just a little difference of angle in the diving, and your head can hit into the ground. So be very, very careful while you are diving in any water, whether it's a river, ocean, or anywhere. Okay, that's one of the thing. Wake up, face down, stop listening. So coming after telling you about the spinal cord injury and different types and categories, I am in this slide. I'm trying to tell you about various causes of spinal cord injury. Uh, Again, the spinal cord injury has been categorized into traumatic and non-traumatic things. So in traumatic comes all these, like road traffic accident by any vehicle, or industrial accident by uh, falling from the ladder, or any machinery by any machinery, or by uh, getting the injury during any sports event, or horse riding, or any skiing gyms things like that. Also, criminal assault or a fight between two people or multiple people in which they someone get hit by anything or shot by a gun and which hits to their spine and uh, make them spinal cord injured. And the second category is non-traumatic. So most of the injury happens because of the traumatic one, whereas nowadays the amount of injury uh, with the non-traumatic also are increasing because of the way people are not caring much and about their health. So in non-traumatic injury, the things which comes are due to the health condition, health related things like cancer or multiple sclerosis or inflammation of the spinal cord or arthritis or any kind of tumor in the spinal cord. What in many cases I have seen that many people get spinal cord injured uh, because of something which went wrong while they are having the surgery of their spinal cord and to fix something and later on it has been discovered that he becomes paralyzed completely. So in a brief, it is given that 90%, I think 90%, I should say, make it 70-80% of these cases are due to traumatic causes like accidents and sports and other things, whereas the less number is happening due to the medicinal reason, health related reason, disease related things. Okay, and the I already told that the percentage of non-traumatic spinal cord injury is already increasing. Wake up, face down, stop listening. So up till now we know what is spinal cord injury, categories, different kind of how it can happen. Now this slide I'm trying to explain about how we can prevent the spinal cord injury. This slide is very very important for all those people who don't have the spinal cord injury. Okay, and so let me start from it that most of the spinal cord injury happens with the unpredictable event like car accident we have seen or diving in the shallow water or something like that. So the best you can do is to handle it properly so that the chances of destruction of the cord inside the spine would be less. In my case, what happened is after the spinal cord, I was required to travel lot of places because not many places are having the facilities uh, of taking care of the spinal cord injury, and because of unawareness of the spinal what is spinal cord injury at that time, uh, many wrong steps has been done, like my neck was just hanging like anything. Someone is making straight, someone this way, that way. So once you can imagine that once the bone is broken, the cord inside is very very sophisticated, and if the after the bone is broken it becomes like a sharp knife. So if you don't handle your neck properly, then the chances of bone destroying your cord will be very high. That's why I have put a picture that how you can prevent it. So the first point says that you need to handle the body and the neck very very carefully by stabilizing your neck, your body, and other parts of the body so that the chances of increasing the destruction which has already happened will be better. Second thing is like always wearing a seat belt while in a car is another thing through which you can prevent the spinal cord injury, because as you have seen in that picture, the person was not having the strap on him, and that's why his head goes and hit to the glass of the car for the and he incurred the spinal cord injury. Similarly, like if you are playing sports which are very risky like rugby and anything, like let's say even in cricket, so if you are not putting the helmets, pads and other things which are required to play that sports because of the riskiness, then it is problem. So try to use them. It's for our own safety, okay? Putting the helmet on the head and all those things. Uh, The next one I have already explained that never dive into the water unless you have examined it. Examine means you know how deep it is, and you are sure that you know how to dive in that water. So I would recommend don't dive in the water until unless you are an expert in diving. Okay, and even if you want to dive, try to dive in the deep water only. And the next point is like never drive if you are feeling uncomfortable. Like for example, if you are feeling dizzy or if you have the symptoms in which you get fits and other problems, try to avoid. Similarly, if you have alcohol consumptions and any other health issue, then the most recommended thing is you should not be allowed to drive. And the most important thing which I have seen is never allow the person on your side seat to sleep while you are driving, because if the person on your side seat is start sleeping, the chances of you getting the nap is becomes very high. That's the reason I have seen like in the buses they where they have seats on the side of the driver, they clearly write on the top of the seat that uh, the sleeping is not allowed for the passenger sitting here. And be very careful about it. If you want your friend or your partner to uh, sleep, then ask them to go on the back seat and then sleep instead of the instead of sleeping on your side. Next point is be careful even if you are only walking or using stairs. This is for the little elderly people or the people who have problem with balancing their bodies. So they need to be very careful while walking or while using the stairs, because many incidents has shown that the person is walking down the stairs or going up and his leg slips, his foot slips, and he gets the spinal cord injury. Even in my care home, there is a person, maybe in 50s. He was just walking in the garden. Somehow he hit a brick and fall down and become a spinal cord injury patient. So you have to be very careful. And the last but not least is that you should keep getting checkup of your body for any kind of issue in your spinal cord, as well as anything which can affect your spinal cord like slip disc or tumors and things like that. Wake up, face down, stop listening, wake up, switch to Google Chrome, switch to PowerPoint, switch to PowerPoint, stop listening. So now let's assume that we have taken all the precautions and even then we we get the spinal cord injury. Then in that case, how to deal with it. So this slide I am going to explain about how to deal with the spinal injury after you get the spinal injury. And I have compiled a list of all the things which are required by the spinal patient after he gets injured. So I will start from the first point, that is the person will require regular contact with the nursing and the doctors, and in most cases they require either a family member or a carer who can take care of their needs and will help them in doing things which they can't do. Similarly, they can use assistive devices like walkers or wheelchairs to go out on their own. Another one is physiotherapist. So the person with the spinal cord injury will requires physiotherapy, and this physiotherapy, what happens is they take care of your ranges of the your limbs and the flexibility of the legs and all, and they tell you the exercises which needs to be done every day or alternate days to make sure that your limbs and the joints won't become stiff. Otherwise, if you don't do any exercises, your joint become stiff and it becomes more problematic for you, and also your chances of getting improve of getting the treatment which might come any day if you are not doing the proper physiotherapy. Next one is the occupational therapy. The difference between the physiotherapy and occupational therapy is this, that the occupational therapist trains you uh, for doing things which can make you uh, employable again. So if someone wants to learn writing, like let's say my hand is not working, but if I have little bit strength and I want to learn how to sign, they make a splint on your hand which in which they put a holder for the pen, and using that with little practice you will be able to do the signature. Similarly, there are straps available which can help you in doing in brushing your teeth and holding various things like spoon, and you can eat yourself. The next one is the pressure clinic, sorry, respiratory specialist. These are required for the person with a very high level injury who needs who are on ventilations and who have problems with the breathing and required oxygen all the time. So for them, they should always be in touch with the respiratory specialist. And regarding the pressure clinic, this is the department which take cares of your according to your weight and posture in which you sit in the chair. They check whether the cushion which you are using for your wheelchair is proper or not. For a spinal cord person to be in the chair for a long time, it is very risky. So until and unless you have a specified cushions which can protect your skin, because otherwise if you sit on a normal cushion, that can make you sweat, and you can get pressure sores. The next one is clinical psychology. So once you become disabled, your mindset becomes very different. You get depressed feeling. You There are so many feelings which uh, keeps disturbing you, making you cry, and makes you feel very, very useless, and things like that. For that, some clinical psychologists are available which can help you uh, by asking you your issues and helping you with the ways in which you can deal about it. Dietitian is self-explainable after the disability, like you need these are the people who creates the chart and helps you in uh, eating healthy food. If there is problem, like let's say for example, if someone is losing a lot of weight, or if someone is gaining a lot of weight, it's the dietitian who can help them in telling that start or stop eating this food, otherwise it can be problem for in both sides. So if it is losing too much weight, so many problems can happen, and if he increasing the weight, then also so many problems can happen. So dietitian helps in uh, managing the weight and other things. Similarly, tissue viability nurse. This is the uh, these are the people who helps you in um, in restoring your skin, and helps you in by giving guidance about how to take care of your body, so that if you already have a wound, then how to manage your body by so that that wound won't get bigger and create a bigger problem. Next is the contingent management person, who is responsible for helping you in taking the bowels, evacuating the bowels, and throwing out your urine and other related things. Another one is the speech and language therapy. These are for the people with the very high level injury who are not able to speak. So what these people do is they teach them the sign to communicate through various ways, like sign language or using the blink of eye for yes or no, and various similar kind of techniques. The next one comes the sitting and the posture. That is, so the person, these are the people who tells you about, they looks at your sitting and posture, and if you are getting problems with your skin in your chair, they try to adjust and put some more additional things in your chair, so that your body won't lean on one side or the other side, and will help you to feel more comfortable in the chair, or while you are going out or anywhere else. Another department which are present is the outpatient services or community, in which which are available in the hospitals, or even in the virtual world, like online. There are many communities where you can, on forums like Facebook pages and groups, in which you can discuss your problems and get the solutions about it. Last but not least is uh, peer and the family support. This is very, very important, because in most of the cases it's not the injury which affects the person more, it's the peers and family support which uh, which is very, very important for him, because they are the people who can motivate him, inspire him to live, and make him feel valuable. So all these things which I have discussed in this slide, all these things can be provided at one place or at a different place also. All this can be provided by a single person or by different specialists also. But yeah, all these things are required once you get the spinal cord injury. Wake up, face down, stop listening. Now, some of the aspects which are very important to manage after the spinal cord injury, I have put them again over here so that I can elaborate on them. So the first one is the bladder management. Bladder management means like the urine which gathers in your stomach in the bladder. You need to manage that so that depending on your situation, you need to choose the various options which are available to decide upon how you are going to empty your bladder time to time. So for those who have the control in their hands, they can use the self-intermittent catheter in which they insert the tube into their bladder and drains the urine out. And in other case like mine, where my hands are not capable of doing anything, what they do is they put a tube directly into your bladder, and as soon as the urine comes in the bladder, it gets drained outside. In this case, you can use the tap for letting the urine collected into the bladder, which helps in maintaining the size of the bladder. But if you keep your tap open all the time, then it has been seen that the size of bladder gets squeezed over the time. Autonomic dysreflexia, I have already told you, and in bladder management, it plays a very big role because if the bladder is full and the urine is not able to come out by any means, then you get the autonomic dysreflexia in which you can get very high blood pressure and high blood pressure or sweatings, and it can be cause of your death also. The next one is the bowel management. There are various ways of doing that also, but it is one of the most important thing for the spinal cord person. So the various ways when I say various ways, there are ways like digital stimulation in which the person who is evacuating your ball insert the finger in your rectum and do a gentle massage in the rectum to uh, to initiate the uh, movement in your colons and get the bowel out of come down in the rectum and come out. Another way is manual evacuation, that is whatever is there in the rectum, the person push the finger in, make a hook kind of shape with with the finger and takes it out. If you don't have, if you have um, your hands working, then you can use various other options also like pristine and other similar kind of equipments in which you insert the tube in your rectum and it will get filled with the water, and after some time the ball automatically starts moving down, and then you can go and sit on the cupboard and your ball gets emptied. The one of the main uh, point here I wanted to tell is this, that the time of the ball management plays a very big role. If you do it every day on the same time, then it is very good. Otherwise, if you don't have a fixed time, you won't get the best result out of it. Coming to the next section is the skin management. uh, Under the skin management comes the things like all the things which can cause any mark or any any sore on your body. So try to avoid uh, any kind of those things which can harm your body, because you can't feel them. Like let's say for example, on your wheelchair there is a key. So you forgot to take the key out of the wheelchair and you sit on there. You won't realize that there is a key under you, but after some time, when you come out of the chair, you will find that that key has made a big sore on your skin, and which usually we call as pressure ulcer. Similarly, like when you are in bed, you need to keep changing your position. Otherwise, if you stay in one position continuously, then there are chances that your skin gets red and slowly it becomes a wound from inside, which we call as pressure ulcer. I will tell you more about pressure ulcer, but before that, I want to tell you about how you can avoid having skin problems. So I have written here some examples like always wear comfortable clothes and footwear, like because if you are wearing tight shoes and all, they can bite your skin, which you can't feel. And later on, when you take out the shoe, you will see that there is a wound on your feet. Similarly, like you have to be very careful with the hot things and any sharp things near you, and the cushion is very important. The type of cushion and the type of mattress which you use after your injury plays a major role in managing your skin. Regarding the pressure ulcer, uh, it is any kind of wound which happens on your body, that is we call as pressure ulcer and or pressure sore. It usually happens around the bony areas, because like let's say elbow, if it is touching somewhere for a long time, it can start scratching or something, and chances of getting it sore is very high. The major in majority of the cases, it has been seen that the pressure ulcer happens around your sacral areas or your fleshy areas like on your bumps and thighs. Uh, so if you don't take proper care of your skin, it can be very problematic for you. About the processor, it's everyone says that it can happen within 20 minutes or even in 10 minutes, but it can take 2 to 10 years also. Like even a small processor, it can happen within 10-20 minutes, but there is no time limit when it gets healed. So without proper care, it becomes a very big problem, and this is one of the major cause of death also for the spinal cord people. Coming to the therapy services, I have already told you the occupational and physiotherapies are required. Sexual function also, I have told you that there are many gadgets available. You can use them, or you can talk to your doctor who can help you in by giving some medicine and injections so that you can get erections and have sex with your partner. Last but not least is the other miscellaneous thing which comes uh, into the life are that the for spinal cord person, the customized accommodation is very necessary. His accommodation needs to be customizable so that he can access the place on his wheelchair. Like the bathroom should be spacious, his toilet seat should be in a proper way, there should be handles which can provide him security while he is on the comfort chair. Similarly, if he goes to the employment, his surrounding should be prepared in such a way that he would be able to do work. Um, in all those things, occupational therapists help. What they do is they go and here in Western countries, it's the job of occupational therapist who visit the place where you are planning to shift, and there they check everything and tells you whether that place is uh, suitable for you or not. So the all these accommodation, employment, help by the employer, and other things are required after you have the spinal cord injury. And having knowledge of all these really helps. Wake up, face down, stop listening. So, uh, up till now, we have seen like how we can prevent. Now, coming to the things which are available now, which can help once we have the spinal cord injury. So, as I have written, there are things which can change our disability to capability. And most important, I have written on the top is support of the friends and family, and never give up attitude of the person. It's it's in us only. Like if only if we have the will, then our chances of surviving becomes much higher. Otherwise, if you give up, then you can start getting many other diseases and you can die very quickly. Rehabilitation, which is a combination of physiotherapy, wheelchair, and occupational therapy, all these things are very important in the life of the spinal cord person. And these are not that difficult. Once you know about them, you can easily do it with the help of a carer at your home itself. Giving example of the adapted accommodation, there are companies which provides you all kinds of equipment which helps you in living your home even after alone after the spinal cord injury. Specifically, the paraplegic people can stay at home alone, provided their accommodation is customized according to them, so they don't need 24-hour carer with them. They can call the carer for sometimes where when they are really required. Otherwise, most of the time they can do most of the things on their own. These are the links in which I will show you the equipments which are available, and which will help you in knowing like what kind of things are available. Similarly, splints and gadgets are there. Let me show you like otherwise like because these are very important things. Wake up, mouse 5, 7, click, press page up, stop listening. I will go through these links later on. Let me, because the timing is running fast, let me go through the other slides and then we will come back to this one. In these, in brief, I can tell you like in the accommodation one, it will show you all kind of beds and hoists and other things which are available, which helps you in your day-to-day life. Similarly, splints and gadgets are there. For those who are not aware about these names like splints and gadgets, I will show you that also. Just give me like just wait for us for a small time. Then the next thing which is very helpful by sprints, I can tell you like these are the things which are made for helping the people in doing things uh, to make them feel capable. Similarly, like there are different kind of gloves available. There are some supports available which you can use for supporting your hands and elbows and neck and other things. The next very important things which is really helping the disabled people are the assistive technology. Wake up, face down, stop listening. In the assistive technology, it has been categorized in many different way, different headings, but under each heading you will find so many uh, gadgets and instruments are available which can help you, like there are a lot of apps in the phone which can help you doing things, and there are some devices which you can use for communicating with other people and doing the things which you want. Similarly, for driving uh, any vehicle nowadays, it's very easy that they provide the controls as per your requirements. So all these things comes under assistive technology, electronics and software. The example of software is live in front of you that I am using the software for controlling my laptop. Without that, like, think of it, my life would have been so boring. You know, if I can't use my computer, then just lying down in the bed watching TV, and even that, I can't change the channel. It would have been very, very difficult. I can't even think like how people in the olden days used to live their life after the spinal injury. So hearing devices are there, home products are there, which can be controlled with your computer or with the voice. Like if you want to turn on the fan or the lights and other things, you can do that. Everything is possible nowadays. In the chairs also there are various categories of chairs in which which allows you to stand up or to grab something from the height, and you can sit on them, you can go out in them, and on the right side you can see like mobility aids are there where they customize the vehicle according to you. They put ramps and make it spacious and do all the different kind of control as per the requirement of that particular patient. Prosthetics is very known to everyone that you have seen in the Paralympics, people use prosthetics, prosthetic legs, using which they are running faster than so much faster they don't feel like they don't have legs. So overall, you can see that the technology is really growing very fast, and that is one of the best friend for the spinal cord person, a injured patient, because without that the life would have been very difficult. Like for example, I have told you have seen the software which I am using by voice. There are things, instruments which you can put on your head, and with just a pointer, laser pointer which is coming from your head, uh, you can control the laptop. So people who are having higher level injury than me, they also can use the computers and do many things. So sky is the limit. It just depends on person to person what they want to do, and if they want to do, then they can achieve many things, and many better more things than any other able person also. Here I can say that uh, disability is not having losing the ability to do something physically, because I have seen people who are physically capable of doing everything, but inside they are disabled because of many other reasons. Coming to the next one, another thing, another area which is helping and emerging very fast nowadays is the telemedicine thing, in which people are developing various gadgets which can be used online to provide medicine, to provide direct communication with the doctors and all, so that the patient doesn't need to travel long distances to get their treatment. So this is another new thing coming up, and with the lockdown, the importance of this telemedicine and telerehabilitation has gone exponentially high. Wake up, face down, stop listening. Now, coming to what all research and scientific developments are going on to for curing the spinal cord injury. As of now, I can say that there is no cure for the spinal cord injury, but there are a lot of research and uh, therapies going on, and you never know when one day suddenly you will find a solution that, oh, this has come up and now we also will be able to walk. Like you can say, there are scientists working on preventing the injury at, let's say you got the injury at level 4, but because of some reason it starts going to level 5, then there are scientists working on that how to stop that kind of thing. Similarly, they are trying to generate lot of different kind of drugs which are helping the disabled people, like in case of spasms, in case of acidity, in maintaining the bladder and bowel movement and abdomen pains and all. Decompression surgery, I have already explained that in cases where your spine gets broken but the cord is still not affected, it's only got compressed. So by doing the surgery, the doctors are able to decompress the spinal cord, and the people and the person gets recovered. Nerve cell transplantation is getting tried, which has been successful. We also call it stem cell therapy, in which they are taking the cells from different locations. Like some are taking from the bone marrow of the person, some are now taking from the skin here and there. So they take a cell and then they uh, culture it, multiply that cell into thousands, and then what they do is that cell, they feel that is capable of regenerating the nerve. So they are trying to regenerate the nerve which has been damaged, so that the expectation is that it again starts growing and go and join with the top part of the same now. And for that stem cell thing is they are trying electrical stimulation, in which like they put the electrodes on your legs and all to try to help you in walking. Another one is implants and rehabilitation. So this is another category through which the doctors and researchers are trying to control and help spinal cord person. Like let's say spasms and all can be controlled by putting a small pump inside your stomach, which will keep giving the releasing the medicine as per the requirement of the body. And similarly, like after the injury to stabilize the spine, and a cage is put, like a plate is put between, like let's say I got the injury from at C5, so they put a cage as C4 and C6 to stabilize my neck. So all those things are there, and people are doing more and more research. The latest one is, I forgot to put that one. The latest one which I have seen recently is the latest one which I have seen recently is the one in which they are trying to implant a chip in your skull, which can read and play with your neuron activities and redirect the signals to make you work in the way they want. And it has been started by a company which has been started by Elon Musk. He is a very desperate guy, and he has promise of doing something like this last year, and this year I have seen they have shown the live demo of the thing in which they managed to implant the chip in your skull, and which won't be visible to anyone, and then the very thin wire goes inside your skull and read whatever activities are going on. Their objective is to read those activities and understand how things work. They have already got lot of success in there, and chances are that they will be very very successful soon. So with that hope only I can tell, wake up, face down, go to sleep. Coming to the resources, there is a very good video available, and I will put these links in the page, in the disabled helper page, so you can visit them. This video shows you like how to deal with the patient once you get an accident, and then there are some lot of wake up, face down, stop listening. I have collected lot of websites through which you can get more information about the spinal cord injury. Since the time is running out, I won't be able to open these. Uh, Wake up, but I will post all these. Wake up, page down, page up, page up, page down. Stop listening. So, after knowing all these things after the spinal cord injury, I came to the conclusion that it's about that when something bad happens to you, you have three choices. That is, you can either let it define you, or let it destroy you, or you can let it strengthen you. I have chosen the option of fighting with it and try to live the life as best as possible and share whatever I can, whatever the life has given to me, share those things with all the people around the world, uh, to make a difference in the society and prove that we disabled people are not useless. We also can do lot of things which can make a difference in the society. So as the above title says, nothing is impossible. Everything is possible. It all depends on the person. It all depends on the person who has got disabled, and support from his family and friends also makes a lot of difference. Just before winding up, I just want to say that uh, we are the only one you can help yourself. So in any case, not only in spinal cord injury, but in any case, it's the person himself is the only one who can help himself, strengthen himself, and give himself that boost, that motivation, which can ease the pain and help him or to prove and to do something which people will remember throughout their life. Second, never overlook your capabilities. I believe in this course, that's why I have put them over here. Never overlook your capabilities. You are the best version of yourself, and I believe strongly believe in God and still feel thanks to God for showing me so many things before my accident. And the last point is do things that cheer you up. Celebrate your small wins. We are not disabled, we are specially abled, and that's how, if we have this kind of attitude in our mind, nobody can stop us from living as better life as possible. Wake up, wake up, face down, stop listening. I have collected some of the pictures of the very disabled people, and I will put them because already the time has run out. I'll put this slide on the Facebook page so that you can go through them. I'm sure many of you are aware of these, that Christopher Reeve is the person who has played the role of Spider-Man. Nick Fuji, he is the person, he was born without any hand and leg, but still he has defied everything. He can do everything which you can't even imagine, like swimming, diving, everything. You just go and watch about his videos and his motivational speak. Pragya is there. She was paralyzed and later on become has joined the Paralympics and won the medals. Sparsha, he is another example of how to live life in the best way as possible, and do whatever you want to do. Stephen Hawking, everyone knows, the great physician who just died recently, but irrespective of his disability, he has done so many big things which even the normal person can't do. Last but not least, my friend told me to put my picture, so this was me when I got injury. I am nowhere comparable to any one of these, but I am trying to do whatever best I can. Uh, Wake up, face down, stop listening. So that's all from my side. Uh, Page up, stop listening. So that's all from my side. If you have any questions or any doubt, please give the feedback on email as well as on our Facebook page. And wake up, page down, stop listening. If you have any question or any feedback or any kind of comment, please don't forget to write on our Facebook page. It would be really helpful. And I'm really extremely sorry for the problem which happened in the starting. This is the first time I was using the Facebook Live, and I was not aware that it doesn't allow to share the screen once you are inside the live stream. It only allows you to share the screen while starting only. So that's all from my side. I thank all of you for your time, for your patience, and I hope this this presentation would be helpful to you all, and you should have learned many aspects of how spinal cord injuries and how difficult is the life, and even irrespective of all the difficulties, how you can manage it still, and how still you can do the things which look impossible to you. Thank you very, very much. Wake up, switch to Google Chrome, stop listening. Thanks, guys. So I am going to stop now, and again I am really sorry for not being able to connect with the original live link which I have shared. I might try to arrange this session again for people, uh, but let's say thank you everyone. Thank you Arun sir. Very very thank you, and thank you Sukru for helping me in preparing for all these things. Thanks to the ma'am for your help. Thank you Naveen sir. Thanks to everyone. Wake up, mouse 7, 7, click, mouse 5, 9, 5 2, click,